get knocked down, but you gotta get up. Keep going.
Hey everybody, welcome to another training. I love this one. Some people call me the content queen. I love learning about content, learning how to optimize content, and I love to talk about all things content strategy, which is exactly what we're going to dive into in today's workshop. Content is king. Creating new, frequent, and insightful content is a healthy and necessary practice of business in any industry. Businesses that fail to understand the importance of content almost always fall short of their marketing goals. And then on the flip side, businesses that make an abundance of strategic content, I'm going to add in that part, they see huge returns. Here are 10 reasons why your content matters, maybe a little bit more than you think. 1, customers trust you more. If they are always seeing you show up and deliver, teach and educate and entertain, well, they're really just starting to see you as someone that shows up consistently, can deliver, can build an audience. It helps to build trust. Number 2, it's going to make you look like an expert. If you are leaning into authority content, here is my technique, my strategies, my unique ideas. It's important that you stand out, seek attention, and the more that you teach, the more that you establish your authority, the more that you deliver results or talk about social proof in this way, the more you're going to look like the expert, the one to trust. It helps you build a library of content that you can use again and again. And we're going to talk a little bit about repurposing today as well. This is content that you can use for blogs, for advertisements, for emails. It's stuff that you can circulate again and again. Super useful for your business. It helps you with SEO, right? When you're using keywords, key hashtags, that sort of thing, it's going to make your business more searchable. Number 5, of course, is going to attract new people to your world, to your brand, to your business. It's going to generate new leads, new potential customers. 6, it's an essential part of an overall marketing campaign. It's not the only part, but it's a key part. It helps you build your brand. So when people start seeing your content on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, they're starting to get the sense that you are a recognizable brand. It can help you increase market share, right? AKA it's growing your audience, more people that want to buy from you as people see more people in your world. They see you in more places, but they see more people coming to you, more followers, more likes. It's kind of like if you pull up to go to a restaurant and there's 2 restaurants side by side and one restaurant is packed and one restaurant, there's no one in the parking lot, right? Which one do you go to? You're probably a little suspect about the one that has no one in the parking lot, right? And number 10, it just drives web views. More people to your website, your other platforms, places that they can buy from you. In my own business, content has been responsible for so much of my personal business growth. I've studied it in depth, and we talk about strategy and content creation a lot inside of our membership because it's super powerful. These are just a couple of reels that I have made in the last little bit here. There was the reel that Tucker Carlson and I made together, 279,000 views, 12,000 likes, almost 900 comments, lots of shares, lots of saves. Here is a personal one that I made about politics. You got 84,000, lots of engagement, lots of likes, and a personal story about my kids, about living on the island, living the sovereign CEO lifestyle. This one is also huge. This is people getting to know me and my lifestyle. So lots of different types of content, collaborative, polarizing, personal. There's lots of different types of content that you can make, but there is a strategy that will help you grow all of them. More eyeballs, more likes, more shares, more engagement. There is no avoiding content if you're a digital entrepreneur. And why would you want to? Because content is king. It's free advertising for your business. And there are so many benefits to you creating content. All online marketing is based around some form of content, whether it's videos, social media posts, ads, landing pages, marketing emails, or blog posts. So when you think content, I don't want you to just think social media. All of these different types of platforms is content. Podcast episodes, content. Newsletter, content. You might be making more content than you think already. And having a content creation plan doesn't have to feel overwhelming. Successful content marketing depends on a solid content strategy that makes the most of every asset, whenever and wherever it's shared or promoted. Content strategy is the process of planning, creating, distributing, and measuring your content in all of its online forms to help you reach your business and brand goals. And it's definitely worth spending time on. Good content is not just about the likes and follows, because that's only one metric of success. We want to make sure that your content is building your brand, connecting with the right people, building know, like, and trust, and establishing you as the authority in the space. What should you include in your content strategy? Well, the first thing is your goals. Like, what are your goals for the month, the quarter, the year in your business? What would you like to sell? Who are you trying to attract? Are you trying to grow a certain social media platform, your email list? Maybe there's a certain product you're trying to push. Depending on the goal, the content strategy will be completely different. For example, if the goal is to grow your email list, then the content is focused on getting people off of social media and onto your email list. If the goal is to get more people onto one platform, you might focus more on collaborative content or hosting Instagram lives in other people's spaces or having guests on your podcast. So different strategies depending on the goals. A content calendar is really helpful. You want to lay out the actual plan. If you don't have a plan, it's going to get really messy, right? We want to plan in advance what kind of content we're creating and where are we putting it. We want to have content variety. We don't just want to go out on the internet and entertain people, right? There's different types of content: entertaining, relatable, storytelling, hardcore selling. We want to be on a variety of platforms. And we want thoughtful, high-level content, not just a trending audio, not just something that we slap together. When you're creating your content strategy, again, you want to focus on your goals. You want to keep your brand in mind. What is my brand voice? What is my brand message? How do I be of service to my core brand goal, my mission, my vision? You want to keep your person in mind, because the content isn't about you, it's about them. What is your ideal client going to resonate with the most? You want to keep your message in mind. What is at the root of all that you do? We want to always be in service to our brand message, into our brand message. And of course, your delivery style. Are you best received humorous? Do people love it when you're educational? Do they prefer you in video? Do they like it better when you write? This is how we deliver our content. So step one, when making your own content strategy, you want to define your content business objectives. This is the goal. You want to be able to answer these questions for your business. And feel free to hit pause, write these down, or take a screenshot here. I'll get my little bubble face out of the way. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Who are you trying to help? How do you solve these problems better or uniquely? Again, these are just questions about your brand. What are your short and long-term goals? How will you use content marketing to help you reach your goals? And your content strategy will only ever be as solid as your answers to these kinds of foundational questions, the same kind of questions that we ask when fine-tuning our brand message. Step two, understand your ideal client deeply. Your content, again, is for them. It's in service to them. Knowing exactly who you are selling to is key in being able to connect with them. How does your client like to be talked to? What language do they use? What kind of emotional storytelling can you use to connect with them? And the best way to know your audience is to research them, create a clear avatar for each customer type you are targeting. This research is always useful, and it's going to help you create better copy for your content. Find your voice. We talked about brand voice in the brand training. We want to learn how to stand out from the crowd. How can you make your content original, different, extra valuable? Creating content that's unique, content that speaks to your brand values, that really showcases you as a human being, where you can share honestly, vulnerably. That's going to serve you really, really well as you grow your business. Never be afraid to lean into the things that make you different, that make your perspective unique. So I hope you like this drawing that I made you. Nice squiggly lines. Create your roadmap. You want to start by identifying your best content. This is called your pivotal content. What's your best content? For some of us, it's going to be videos. Some of us, maybe it's a podcast. Some of you are going to be really good writers. There is something that you do really, really well. I want you to focus on doing that kind of content more than just social media. Okay? So the bottom of this pyramid here is social media. I want you to focus on making better, high-level content, a long piece of writing, an audio recording, a video, whatever it is that you're good at. And then you'll have a secondary content. So I'll give you an example in the next slide, but your secondary content is still maybe a little lengthier, but it's not what you have to put all your time in. And then social media is basically just you clipping your good content that you made before. I'll give you an example. So examples of pivotal long form content. Again, some people, it's a blog, it's a YouTube video, it's a Substack article, it's their podcast. They're going to spend more time making really good stuff at the top. And then their secondary content might be a newsletter, a podcast, email. Notice all this stuff is interchangeable. It's very unique to you. And then we have social media content, Instagram, X, TikTok, Pinterest. Notice most people, guys, are just hanging out in the social media realm. This will burn you out. This will lead to lack of results. And it's not where you want to spend all your time. Social media gets the leftovers, guys. Again, what's pivotal or secondary to you may be completely different for another business. So you have your different styles of content, what's your best stuff, what's just social media, and you want to decide how frequently you're able to do. Now, any platform likes consistency. You are way better off to do one post a week than do 5 one week and then nothing the next. Now, more is usually more. I'm going to say that. If you are newer to creating content, focus on just one platform, guys, and really dial in the system, commit to a certain period of time, and use it well. Like, use it every day. Because, again, content is king. It's going to lead to results. If you're only doing like a piece of content a week or a month, you can do that, but you're going to grow really slow. There's no way around it, okay? So I just want to be honest about that. So if that's you, definitely don't put yourself on a bunch of different platforms inconsistently. I would way rather you dial in one and show up every day. That is going to be way more beneficial to you, your brand, and your business. Decide how many pivotal pieces of content you'll make each week, month. So the pivotal doesn't have to happen every day, right? You could do one a week, one a month, because we're going to break that down into other pieces of content. You'll also decide how many secondary pieces of content you'll send out. So let's say you do one Substack article a week and you send out 2 emails a week. So Substack was the pivotal. The secondary was your email marketing. And decide how often you'll post on social media and where. Don't feel the urge to spread yourself too thin to other platforms if you're just dialing in this art. And if you don't know where you're aiming, if you don't set a goal like this, if you don't decide in advance, it's a surefire way to miss your shot. So set your goals and work backwards. Put these things on the calendar. Put content creation time on your calendar, put time for posting on your calendar, create a timeline for your goals and a plan for how, what, and when you'll create and distribute your content. You get to decide the cadence and frequency, but make a plan for yourself and stick to it. So let's say you were only able to do one YouTube video a week, okay? Do it on the same day and the same time every single week. Put that in the calendar and show up to your plan no matter what. So here's an example of cadence. Maybe you decide I'm going to write 4 long form, that's supposed to say form, not from, 4 long form blogs a month, 2 Instagram posts a day, 3 to 5 Instagram stories a day, 2 podcasts a week, 1 newsletter a week. Perfect. You want to identify the best channels to promote your content. A lot of people miss this step. You need to decipher which channels are most popular among your target audience. LinkedIn, for example, is going to be great for corporate and professional brands. Instagram and TikTok is more appropriate for younger, fun, and casual brands. So it doesn't matter if every single person you know is on a certain app, is your ideal client on that app. That's really the only thing that matters. And you need a way to measure your content strategy. So you're choosing a cadence, you're choosing a certain amount of content. Now you want to track what are the results from you doing this thing consistently. You want to do your strategy for at least 3 months, right? It is not a strategy to do it 1 week, right? You want to do this for a period of time, track the results. You can track them monthly. I like at least 90 days. You can get really complicated here and track your analytics, your KPIs, and your metrics using software, Google Analytics. There's all sorts of ways to track it. Or you can also simply decide on what the goal is, a certain amount of email subscribers, a certain amount of new clients, and pay attention to the cause and effect results of your content strategy. Obviously, I prefer like the actual analytics and KPIs, but did you get more clients? Is there more money in the bank? Is the simplest way to look at this. You have to track what you do so you can double down on the stuff that works and stop doing the stuff that doesn't work. It really is that simple. Yet there are so many people doubling down on the stuff that doesn't work, right? You got to track your results so that you know, so that you don't waste your time. You get more freedom, more time back. Double down on the stuff that works for you. You could also test your content with like split campaigns or A/B campaigns. So this is where you, like if you're doing Facebook ads, this is a really easy way to test. But you can also just look at your analytics. Let's say you made a certain type of content and one was in written form and one was in video form, and then you see which one led to XYZ result in your business. People do lots of different swaps. So we're doing meta ads right now. We might swap out some copywriting. We might swap out a certain image. We might swap out the caption, and then we just test which one performs better. And then we keep doing that thing. This is a little more advanced. If you are newer, this might feel like it's really complicated, but here's like a really simple way to test content. Let's say you make 2 freebies and you put them out there, and one freebie is about making baby food and the other freebie is about exercise for new moms. Put them both out there and see which one performs better. And then the one that performs better, sell the heck out of it, right? That's a really simple way of describing A/B testing. Now, this is something we love to do in the Academy, repurposing content to get results. So this is why it was important for you to identify your pivotal, your secondary, your social media content, because this is going to help you save hours and hours and hours of time every single week. So most small business owners are doing this. I hope you like my little Canva image here. So they're doing daily social media posts on a ton of different topics on a bunch of different platforms. Okay. It kind of has goals, but it's also kind of just a mess. But there's so much content just here. Then they might be getting interviewed. They might be on some podcasts. They might write some blogs, they might be writing some emails, right? But all of this content is new, 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 new. And it all might be talking about your business, right? But it's all individual new pieces of content. That is so much work. And this is why people hate content and they get burnt out, is because they're doing this. It might all be promoting your offer or your business, but again, it's all different content, and it also might be going relatively unnoticed. So that's really frustrating considering the hours you spent making that content. So firstly, spend more time creating pivotal content, and then you're going to use social media and other forms of content to simply market and promote that one key piece of content. You want to use your secondary content and social media content to market the pivotal content instead of just endlessly creating new content. It's not because your content isn't good. That could be the case. It's probably just because people haven't seen it. So instead of just making new content all the time, you're way better off spending more time with the pivotal content and then spending the rest of the time marketing that good piece of content you made. So let's say the pivotal content is a podcast, then the newsletter is talking about the podcast. Social media is clipping little sound bites from the interview. You're taking a quote from the podcast and making that into a quote tile. Pardon me. And everything is just driving attention towards that pivotal content. So it's not actually 50 different pieces of content. It's all just little pieces of one piece of content. Here's our podcast, for example, The Sovereign CEO. I'll write a blog post in advance. So I usually start with writing, unless it's an interview. So we'll film the podcast. There'll be an audio podcast. And then just a little side note here, the show notes are going to have links to the business, to other promotional calls. Then we'll take that same podcast, we'll take the video, and we'll put it up on YouTube. And then we'll take the YouTube clip and usually the full episode actually on Twitter. We'll put the full episode on Twitter. Twitter's driving people to YouTube. We'll clip that video podcast and we'll use the clips for social media. And we will talk about the podcast with a link to it in our weekly newsletter too. So many different types of content from this one single interview. Less content, but better content. More time spent marketing this key piece of content. You want to work smarter, not harder. We have lots of great calls inside of the Sovereignty membership, but probably the content creation call is our members' favorite. We help them make better on-brand content every single month. I give people 30 new prompts exploring these different types of content so they make sure that they're making sales, authority, building trust, exploring their brand, telling good stories. So I give them new fresh prompts every single month. And then we have co-creation days. We provide people with templates and they're able to create all the content they need for the entire month in just a couple hours. It's a process to get used to, one that I personally resisted in my own business for a while, and it's been a game changer to actually implement. And this is just a little screenshot from one of our members. She says 3.5 hours later, and she's done. What an amazing feeling. To get this thing done and dusted feels so good. And when you're not creating on the fly, this is particular to social media, but you can use the content that we create and turn it into anything. Take our prompts and turn it into a social media post, into a blog, into a podcast. Like, sky's the limit. But when you do it all at once, you make sure to keep your goals, your brand, your messaging in mind so the content is tight. It's better. It's not random. It's not just something that you posted because you felt like it. So here's your next steps. Define your business goals for this month, this quarter, and this year. Spend time with your brand and writing out your content strategy. What's your delivery style? What are the key topics that you're going to talk about? What do you want to promote? And of course, join the Sovereign CEO Academy if you'd like help creating better on-brand content that gets you bigger, better results. I hope you guys like this one. Again, content is key, is absolutely king. Love working on this with our members. And if I can help you guys learn to love this process too, then my job is done.
Been underground, now I aim for the sky. Don't quit now, you can last longer. All these wounds only making you stronger.